Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Cam from Tweeking Media, and we are back for episode 8 of Attack on Culture. I am joined by the Trell Sav.
You're
Yes, sir. And obviously, dressed as an elephant in the room, Chris is not able to record with us, but the show must go on. And there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about and cover with you all. So we definitely have to, start getting more consistent with our podcast episodes. So there may be some times where it's just me and Day Trail, maybe times where it's just me, Day Trail, and Chris. But you'll see when we get there. Anyways, before we get into the actual meat of the podcast, be sure to show us some love, everybody. If you are on the YouTube side, drop a like, comment down below what you think about our topics that we cover on this episode. Subscribe to the channel, help us get to 1K. That is the goal for this year, to get to 1K subs. We are currently at about 700, I think 775 at the time of this recording. So you guys have been showing a lot of love, and so keep showing that love and support, because we're only able to grow thanks to you all. Be sure to also share this podcast across all your various social media accounts. Help us spread the message. There's 3 Black Kings in Chicago trying to make it big out here. You feel me? And if you're on the Spotify, I think it's not Google Podcasts anymore. It's YouTube Music now. Apple Podcasts, all those other audio streaming platform services. Be sure to like, follow us. All of our social media links will be down in the description box below on the YouTube side. So be sure to check us out. And on Twitter at Attack on Culture, TikTok at Tweeking Media Clips, and Facebook at Tweeking Media. And with all that being said, guys, let us get into the podcast. We will start with our usual, what's been going on since we've been out and about, not doing podcast things with our world. So for me, we got big thing that's happening, or that just happened. So if you didn't catch it, feel sorry for you. The Steam Spring Sale was huge. Me and my homies, they Trail, and some other people in the PlayStation, we share our Steam account. We got a family account, and we balled out. It's a lot of great sales out here. I think it's crazy because like I've had Steam for a while, but this was kind of like the first big Steam sale that I've ever like truly participated in, as far as like just getting a bunch of shit. And it's just crazy. You look at like Sony and other stuffs that have these quote unquote sales, and it's laughable. Like, it's actually crazy just how much Steam has to offer as far as great sales. I mean, one of the big things, even though I've bought this game so many times across various systems, but the Kingdom Hearts franchise, every single game from 1 to 3, including all the side games, was $60. That is insane how much value you get for that much money across the entire franchise. They had a Mega Man collection where it was basically every classic Mega Man, Mega Man X, Mega Man Zero, Mega Man ZX, all that stuff was like $30. So it's crazy how much value you can get from these Steam sales. It's over, but I would say probably be on the lookout for the summer sale. It's gonna be another big thing as far as, if you're somebody who wants to participate in these things. Make sure you ball out. Make sure if you're doing it, you got all your mom's credit card and the 3-digit code at the back of her number, so you can go crazy.
oh God.
But that's been kind of the big thing that I wanted to just bring up. And as far as anime things is concerned, so at the time of this recording, it is Sunday, March 23rd. So this last week and this week is going to be the last pretty much episode for a lot of series that are going on for winter anime. We are now teetering into the spring anime section. So I feel like next podcast we'll probably have like our first impressions as far as like things we've been watching. If it's by the 3-episode rule, we'll have like what we are going to keep watching or what we're dropping, things of that nature. But as far as a recap of winter anime is concerned, I think there were 3 big standouts in my opinion, that being Sakamoto Days on Netflix, ReZero season 3, and also Solo Leveling. That last episode for Solo Leveling was absolutely insane animation wise. It was crazy. I've already seen some complaints about it. I don't know what to tell you, man. I liked it. I really liked it. I'm someone I've already read the entire manhwa, so I really watch Solo Leveling for those like moments that I read in the manhwa that I'm like, okay, I want to see this as far as like an animated fight. And the Biru versus Jinwoo fight delivered that and more. It was absolutely crazy. That OST, Shorty was singing her butt off, man. Shout out to her. But yeah, it was a very great episode, a great way. I don't know if there's another episode coming. I think that was it. Or they might tease something. I don't know. I'm not in tune with a lot of stuff that happens in the anime side lately. But as far as that's concerned, I think that those are the standouts. So, ReZero, even though I'm still mad at them for that second core BS, since they came back, every episode has been an absolute banger, like really good. Not only as far as like animation for some of the fight scenes that we've gotten, but as far as some of the emotional storytelling aspects, they have been very much delivering on that. So kudos to ReZero and Sakamoto Days. Chris, being the resident Sakamoto stan on this podcast, he's been reading the manga. I don't know anything about it. I just was like, hey, people were hyped about it, so I checked it out, and I have been enjoying it. Every single episode has been great, and so yeah, those are my three standouts. Hey, Trell, do you have any standouts? Did you watch anything?
Nah, I would say this. With me being on like I don't even want to call it a hiatus. It's more if you were like an artist or a drawer, you hit a block and you just feel like you can't draw or write or anything like that no more. And that's why I kind of am with anime until I get inspired. I don't know. Is it on the list? No, it's not. Oh, it is. So we're gonna talk about something that would inspire me soon. Hopefully, prayerfully. But other than that, it ain't really been nothing that, I do think Sakamoto Days intrigue me. I have been watching Bleach, but that ain't new. That show dang near older than half of my family.
Yeah.
So I don't, it ain't nothing just yet. Hopefully something soon would pique my interest though.
For sure. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as our updates are concerned. So we'll go on into some gaming things because me and Detroit, we actually play video games. Chris doesn't. So we'll be
he been playing Cyberpunk. He almost done.
Oh, okay.
Almost
All
done.
right. I need to see like a screenshot of the ending credits, and then I'll believe it.
I need to see a build. I want to see the build.
That boy playing just the story mode. He don't care.
That's what I want to see. I want to
see
him
playing just the story mode. He don't care.
We gonna see his RAM. That joint gonna say 3 right there. I'm like, wait, what you got going on, bro? Oh God.
Well, yeah. So we'll move on to the first thing, and I'll let Detroit take the spotlight for this because although I've played this game, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I played like 3 hours of this game, and I haven't touched it since. Not to this game's fault. It's just so many other things that came out that have demanded my attention. But Detroit, on the other hand, has sunk his teeth into it. So I'll let him take the floor for Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza, impressions / however far you into the game with what you want to do with it.
I am currently on the last chapter of the game. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I think and I know you could probably say it with the man who erased his name and stuff like that. Sometimes the side B Yakuza games, they hit this thing of it goes really, really good in the beginning. Then that middle part is like a complete drag, bro. I was just playing this game, and I think it got some. I'm working on a video for it. Hopefully I can get the stuff done, but it got a lot of good things about this game, but also got a lot of I don't want to say bad, but just boring stuff about it. It's hard to grab my thoughts. I would say the ship battles. When you first play it, you're like, man, these joints go crazy. And then you get to ship battle 3,452, little peaks. Because and this one big problem for me, the enemy ships is way more equipped for battle than your ship, especially in the beginning. The enemy ship got freaking heat-seeking rocket launchers, and they can throw fire barrels out the back of it. You got 2 cannons, and 2 guns. Now you get to change the way the cannons. They can be lasers or but you got 2 cannons and 2 guns. If you get to the levels that I was at in terms of like the pirate battles and stuff, which I think is cool, you realize them 2 cannons and them 2 guns ain't all that. You actually got to finesse a ship. Like drifting a ship sound fun until you drift the ship and you realize like, hey, I ain't built for that. It's still with the bare bones ship combat that game got, still better than Skull and Bones. So if you're looking for something better than Skull and Bones, you'll find it in there. Other than that, Yakuza's story always going to be good. It's never going to change. It's never going to cease. The Yakuza story is always going to be good. I love the wacky and zany side of the story. It is literally if anybody new to the Yakuza game think these games are serious, I will laugh at you. This dude's whole thing is that he got amnesia, and now he's a pirate. In 2020, I don't know when, but
this takes place after Infinite Wealth.
And it takes place after Infinite Wealth. And 2, like, he's not the only pirate. And it's not like regular pirates like Somalian pirates or anything out there when they in speedboats and stuff like that. These are real full-fledged ships. And it's crazy. But I think the game is solid. I'm working on 2 videos. So I'm working on trying to get, it together. I'm almost done with the game. I could probably kill it tonight if I really wanted to. I think I'm on it's only 5 chapters, and I think at the beginning or at the end of chapter 4, probably at the end of chapter 4. So it ain't that really left. It is a very long game too. I thought it was gonna be quick. It's long. Pause. But if you want to get a quick score, I gotta really think about it. But a quick score, it's probably like a 7.5, if that. But it's been a fun ride so far. It's definitely been when I take a break from other things that we're talking about, it's definitely been a decent game to play. So yeah.
For sure. All right. So, and like I said, I barely touched the game, so I can't even get my thoughts on it.
What's funny? Sometimes when you buy a game, you'll buy a game and then I will log way more hours into that game what you do. And then I found out you playing something on your Switch or something like that. I'm like, but bro, you bought this. Like, you gotta play it, bro.
That's right off. But speaking of the Switch, that's a good segue into another game that just came out this week that I have been playing. That being Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is a port from the Wii U for the 3 people that owned that system. But this was a game that I was very much looking forward to when they had announced it during one of the Nintendo Switch Directs last year. Just because I didn't own the Wii U, so I was a huge fan of Xenoblade Chronicles, and this is a game that I always wanted to play. I will preface this by saying this game definitely feels like it is a Wii U port on a Switch system. So take that for better or for worse. As far as if you're expecting anything like what 3 did, as far as the evolution of gameplay and things of that nature, this is more so true to its form of what it was on the Wii U port. And I'm fine with that because it takes a lot of elements from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And I really did like the gameplay of Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I wasn't the biggest fan of 2's gameplay. It was solid, but it wasn't anything that made me go didn't really sink my teeth into like I did with the first game. So it's a lot of shades of, if you play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, that type of gameplay. And this is pretty much, if you wanted to have an analogy for this game, this is basically Xenoblade Chronicles, the MMO. You can create your own character. There is an online scene where you can, have other people join you on quests. A lot of the fights in this game feel like big, kind of similar like Monster Hunter, like raid boss type fights. So it really does encourage either, if you have you get a lot of NPC and story mode characters that can help you. But if you want to do the online scene, it does make you feel like you're part of this big community, because the game kind of the setting of the game is you're on this completely new planet. Earth has been destroyed by this alien race. You escape to this planet, and now you're trying to settle in on this new planet and discover how to survive with the last remnants of humanity on this planet. So if that interests you, if you are a fan, if you've played any of the Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, or 3, I recommend it. Like I can't give it. I'm like literally like probably 4 hours into the game. There's been another game that we'll talk about during our main discussion that has been taking way too much of my time than I expected. So I haven't really been able to sink my teeth into this game as much as I would like to. But as soon as I'm finished with that game, then I will definitely be able to give more thoughts on this Xenoblade Chronicles game. But so far, so good. And the next game that I want to talk about is I actually just beat it yesterday. Like, so when you had logged off day trail, we were like basically like an hour. I think it was like an hour left until we beat the game. But Split Fiction. Shout out to the homie Joe. Appreciate you. He bought the game and we basically we played it through the little friend thing that they have, which is really simple. You basically, if a friend has the game, if you don't have the game, you basically just download, like it's called like the friend or co-op pack, whatever. They send you an invite and you can play with it in the session. Only caveat is that if you are an achievement whore, you like trophies, you don't get trophies. So if you are somebody who is interested in that kind of stuff, you have to get the game yourself. I don't really care. I just want to play the game. But I will definitely say this. If it wasn't for the boogeyman known as GTA 6 coming out later on this year, this is probably definitely the game of the year.
Talking about another boogeyman, I was gonna be like, hey,
I was gonna say, it's GTA because GTA. I feel like GTA 6, just for the hype and popularity alone, is easily probably gonna win Game of the Year. But if it wasn't for that, I definitely think that this game deserves it. Like, it is
GTA come out.
Yeah. Well, who knows? But I will say that if GTA 6 comes out, you know what to expect. But if GTA 6 does not come out, don't be surprised if this game wins Game of the Year. It is really, really great. I was very surprised, like the art direction of this game alone. It was just like the amount of segments where I just had to, like, me and Joe were just like, holy shit, this is gorgeous. The transitions, like a lot of because this is a co-op game, obviously. So a lot of times, you know, you kind of like split screen, one player on one side, the other player on the other side. But there are times where like it mushes together and it makes this like beautiful like scene of like what you're doing. Like one of my favorite moments in that game, you've probably seen it, is the phone. You have to go through all the captchas. One player has to go through all the captchas while the other player is trying to drive to like some building or whatever, and so the other player is like trying to focus on like clearing out all the viruses and stuff like that. It was a great moment. There's another moment. There's slight spoilers, so if you are, you know, skip ahead like 5 minutes. But during the ending, the final boss fight of the game, there's a segment where like the game transitions into like this old TV screen. So like one player is in the actual TV screen and the other one is outside, and like you can like stomping on the TV to clear out obstacles for the other player. There's another moment where like one player is in a tablet and the other player is like controlling the tablet to like steer you through the fight. It was like really great, solid moments like this. The puzzles and like the way that they make it so that you truly do feel like you are playing a cooperative campaign. No one person is carrying the other person. There are segments in which the two main characters, Mio and Zoe, there are segments where Mio is doing like a lot of like stuff to guide Zoe through an area, and there's segments where Zoe is doing a lot to guide Mio through an area. And then there's times where you just have to like combine. The puzzles are they're not too bad. I suck at puzzles. I don't like puzzle stuff. If I get lost, I'm gonna Google that bitch. But the puzzles were fairly simple enough where like you know you can figure it out. You look around, utilize some of the unique mechanics that the game gives you depending on the area that you're going through. So you'll be going through like various stories. So I'm all over the place. That's how I do my reviews. But the story of the game is basically Zoe and Mio are aspiring artists, writers, and they're trying to get publicized. So they go to this place where there's this machine that is supposed to, you go into the machine, it plays out your story, and then it publicizes your story. Obviously, that's not, the twist is big evil corporate dude trying to steal your ideas. And so now you have to, you, and Zoe, I play Zoe, so me and Mio had to basically find a way to utilize these glitches to break the system so that you can escape. So the way you do that is by going through various stories that Miyu, who is a sci-fi writer, and Zoe, who is a fantasy writer, have come up with. So there's some really cool segments where like a cyber ninja. There's another section where like you're nursing these baby dragons. So like there's some really cool some really cool spectacles. There's some side stories which are like little one-off stories that either Miyu or Zoe have done that you can go in and kind of like play out that little area. Those are really cool, kind of like taking a break from the main story, and they each have like really fun mechanics. There's one, if you ever played, was it SFX, the snowboarding game on the PlayStation 2? There's a section where you're basically doing that. You're doing tricks and stuff like that, and it's really cool. So there's a lot of Easter eggs in that game. So if you are a gamer, if you've played a lot of like old school games, even some recent ones, you'll notice some of these Easter eggs are really cool. There's an Easter egg to A Way Out, which is one of the previous games that the development studio did. So if you happen to catch that, it's a pretty funny Easter egg on that end. But all in all, to say, I highly recommend the game. I mean, this is, to put it in the most simplest ways I can, it's a video game. You purchased a video game for $60 and you get to enjoy a video game. No season passes, no battle passes, no bullshit microtransactions. You are just playing a solid, cooperative, fun, story-driven campaign. And I shout out to, I think his name is Joseph. Big ups to you, man. You keep doing what you're doing. I hate that you're with EA, because fuck EA. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get to our main discussion, but yeah, so I highly recommend Split Fiction. If I were to give it a rating, it's a solid 9 out of 10 easily. The only reason why I say is because the game felt a little bit too short. I really wish that this is one of those games I wish it was longer. So like it was. That's pretty much my only big complaint. So it's a 9, but like honestly, it is my game of the year so far. So yeah, that's it for as far as our gaming stuff is concerned. We'll move on to the news portion, where we will start with something that we should have covered last week, but we like to be late on everything. That's just kind of how the vibes of this this channel is. And I'll let Trail take reign on this one, and I'll give my thoughts later. But Invincible Season 3 has ended. So fortunately, no more Invincible Thursdays, as Trail has dubbed it. But with that, I'll let you take over, Trail. Your thoughts on Season 3.
Yeah, man. I think I'm so glad Invincible got this time to shine, bro. Like, for anybody who read the comic, know how good it is, and it's always like a breath of fresh air, so to speak. I do think like the season kind of got like a little bit more hate just because everybody and their mama are like animation whores these days, bro. And was the animation kind of terrible? Yes. But it wasn't like, I'm gonna like stop playing I'm gonna stop watching the show terrible. And I think sometimes we gotta separate that when we watching things. Cause bro, there could be, you might get mad at me when I say this, but I read a little bit of Solo Leveling when it first was dropping in the manhwas, right? Read a tiny bit of it. I think that story mid at best.
Oh, you're not lying. That's not a hot take. It is. If you've read Korean manhwas, it is the typical weak ass nigga gets super strong and is now the strongest person on earth ever. It's just that Solo Leveling did it in a way that just appealed to a lot more people than other manhwas do. But I agree. I think the story is meh. But the animation is good on the anime side, so a lot of people love it. I'm like, we kind of got to get out that mindset just because animation good means show good. I agree. Because, again, another hot take. Season 4 of Attack on Titan for me. Animation, probably some of the best stuff we see other than what Ufotable do. I think Season 4 mid. So, I will never disrespect like the show Invincible just because there's a lot of PNG art going around over there. I do think there's no excuse for Amazon being this big, super big corporation. And I heard like the whole so far, like combined, I think from season 1 to 3 that they budget has been like $23 million.
I know a lot of that is going to
the voice actors.
Yeah, it's going to the voice actors. Which, hey, the voice actors help a lot in that show, except for one. I talked about it last time. I hate that nigga voice with a passion.
Oh no, but because there's other controversy with the Conquest, so preface just in case people haven't watched the last episode.
It's not Conquest. Hey, look, I can't think of the name right now, but I only can think of what he played, Negan's. I rock with Negan as Conquest. Beautiful. I think that episode was beautiful. I'm gonna get to that in 1 second, but I would just say, like, I do think Amazon and the people behind Invincible is going to make a change going into next season, because the only gripe that they had with this season in terms of like fans and stuff is people talking about the animation. So I do think next season they're going to change that. They do a good job, because people talked about how bad season 2 was with pure filler and boring episodes, and they flipped that on its head in season 3. So but season 3, if I was to give this a rating, before the last episode, I would have gave season 3 a nice 7, 8. That last episode made season 3 damn near on par with season 1 in terms of a season.
Yes,
it was so good, because me personally, I got my hopes up for the Invincible 1. I know the Invincible 1 was 3 pages in the goddamn book, because I read it. But I'm thinking like, yo, it's 3 pages. They can adapt the Invincible War better. And they really didn't. It didn't change. I think they gave a lot of the marks a little bit more personality, especially like Mohawk Mark and Sinister Mark and all them niggas. But it wasn't all that. I was expecting like legit fights, and it was mid. But the Conquest fight to end off the season, everybody knew it was coming, but we ain't know it was gonna be like that. I think Negan did a fantastic job, because people were like, oh, I want this person voicing Conquest. Oh, I want this person voicing Conquest. I was like, I just want Conquest to be cold. And he was cold. They added more depth into his character. He was like,
way more.
I'm lonely. The other Viltrumites just stare at me. I don't even get a name, just a purpose. That I was like, yo, this is amazing. And it make you look forward to seeing Conquest again. My bad for just spoiling, but it make you look forward to seeing him again. I do think a lot of things, people who let me say this perfectly. A lot of people who watch things on a surface level don't understand Mark's story when it comes to him getting beat up, because it's part of his freaking name of getting beat up but not getting killed. It's part of him being
invincible.
But a lot of people also don't understand like his non-killer philosophy. In his brain, he think a hero should be this, a hero should be that, and he also can't be what his father was on that fateful day in Chicago. So in his brain, I can't be this Viltrumite that my father wanted me to be. And also, this is what a hero should be. So he's going to deal with the fact that he can't murk Eric. Because if he wanted to murk everybody he run across, he will murk everybody run across. When he punched, and I think it was the second season, when he bodied Angstrom Levy, he had to deal with the fact that he thought he killed someone. And it messes with him because, again, he don't want to be what his last thought of his father was, which is a mindless killer trying to take over a planet. So people are like, oh, Invincible get beat up too much. Oh, Invincible don't be killing stuff, bro. One, you anime peel. Stop doing that. And two, like, let the character develop. Things people say that they actually care about character development. Well, you kind of gotta watch the character development. A man going emo because he didn't like a decision that was made doesn't mean that's good character development. That just means you like niggas going emo all the time. But a person who goes from being one way of a hero and then having another philosophy and changing the whole way he think of things, that's development. Try not to spoil because that's probably the whole focus of like season 4 is going to be him and this other character rapping about like different levels of morality and that whole trolley theory about is it cool to say one person or say 5 if a trolley coming about to run them over. Yeah. So all of that, but I would just like to say Invincible season 3, amazing. I think they said they going for 2026, so next year we should be getting more Invincible again, like next year, either like summertime or early fall. So shout out to that.
For sure. And yep, I pretty much relay a lot of the points that Trell said. Like I fell in love with Invincible season 1. I was disappointed with season 2, but I think it was season 2 that made me go out because I was like, because they took the break, so it made me go out, buy all 3 Invincible compendiums, and I went ahead and binge read them all. So season 3, there was a lot of moments that I was looking forward to, even though it was short. I was looking forward to, because the one thing that I will say about Invincible that I like is that things have lasting consequences. So like, it's not like people are still pressed about the like Omni-Man in that day in Chicago, and then you get the Invincible War, which even though it is short in the comics and even in the show, it being 1 episode, it's still like a lasting impact that has happened. And then Conquest pulls up, that has a lasting impact. So everything that happens in Invincible has a lasting impact, and that's what I like about this series. And then even to piggyback off what Trell said about Mark's, like, it's not, they didn't just, he doesn't get the dark blue and black suit just like on some One Piece time skip, get a new costume every arc. There is a reason why he gets that suit, and it's his journey of obviously like accepting that if you want to say like what Cecil was saying, you can either save the world or be a hero. And that's Mark's progression, because he has this idea like, man, I gotta, Superman or Batman, or Spider-Man, I'm not gonna kill anybody. And it's like, nah, bro, it's real killers out there, and you've been through some shit, and they go still keep doing the stuff you do, so kill them. And so his whole progression throughout season 3 and going into season 4. I don't know about season 4 because I know because that's supposed to be filler, right, Daytrail? Like,
the Damien Darkblood stuff.
Yeah, so
super
it's not
filler.
So but we don't know if that's going to be the whole season. But if that's just like 2, 3, or 4 episodes maybe, and then the rest is like stuff that like really further emphasizes Mark's superhero journey until we get to, I'm going to say, the Las Vegas situation, that is what is really going to define like what this series is about, and Mark's journey as a hero, which I really do like those elements of Invincible. Again, animation wise, there was some stuff that made me kind of go like, but it wasn't anything that made me go, I can't watch this show no more.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off type animation.
Yeah, but it is another one of those things where I will say that I do think that Amazon should do better, because you make so much money, pay your animators more. If you're taking yearly breaks from this shit, so this isn't like some Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece back in the day type situation where you had to churn out an episode every week. You have years to prepare for this stuff. So for me, it's like, if like there's no excuse for that style, like for that, it's not bad, but there's no excuse for it, is what I should say. So I do expect better going into season 4, especially if you listen to some of the fans, not the super toxic ones, but the people who have legitimate, like, hey man, improve the animation a little bit. And I agree with that. But all in all, I do think, looking forward to season 4. Shout out to it being next week, or not week, but next year. And yeah, if I were to give it, I think solid 9, because that last episode, it was about an 8, but that last episode, especially what they did with, because again, reading the comics, Conquest is basically like a Jiren type character. He's the strong ass nigga that came in and you were supposed to beat him up. The Mark beats him up and that's it. But they actually gave him some depth and like Negan having a Negan speech like that for Conquest, and him giving more of like his reasons as to why he does what he does, and him going like, you know, it's like I came here, you know, to get this planet, but I'm hoping you say no.
Oh God, I'm praying you say no. Also, I got a gripe. He shouldn't have called this fist Lucille. If he wouldn't have called this fist Lucille, like Negan called that bat Lucille, it probably would have been 100 out of 10 for me, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. It would have been a really nice nod. But AMC probably would have been like, what you say? Oh God, AMC would have pulled up. But yeah, so yeah, if you have not tuned in to Invincible, I don't know why you're still watching this review, because you just got spoiled like a mug. Yeah. But if you are someone who only tuned into season 2, was like, F this show, don't want to do it anymore, spin the block again and watch season 3. You will not be disappointed. So the next 3 news segments are they're not nothing burgers, but they're just kind of like light shit. So it's not like anything too heavy. So before we get into this is going to be, I'll let Detro, you handle the Death Stranding stuff. That we'll save that for last, then move on to the main discussion. So we'll move on to our next news, which is Steel Ball Run. So JoJo's Day is approaching on April 12th. And so the official Twitter account for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure basically just said that, like, hey, there's going to be lots of special stuff that's going to come out. You know, stay tuned for that. And obviously the name of what we all of us fans are like, are you going to drop when part 7 is coming out? That's the big thing. And so there has been no official confirmation. It's just a tweet. But I wanted to share this out because for all of the JoJo fans, like, we are fiending because part 6, even though Netflix's release schedule kind of effed up some of that part a little bit, I've still thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. And so, and I read a little bit of Steel Ball Run. I'm not too big. Pretty much everything after part 7 is like stuff that I've heard in passing. So I'm not like tuned into like a lot of stuff that happens in part 7 and part 8. I know some things, but not a lot. But I am looking forward to what part 7 is going to be doing. But your thoughts, Daytrail?
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. I think, like, in this podcast, I'm so anti like cope, especially like if people tune into like Threes in the Ring. I don't cope for anything. I don't sip on that copium. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm sipping on that copium for this. I pray and hope that this leads, bro. You know how salty I'd be if they about to announce a mobile game or something like that, bro.
How Full Metal Alchemist?
Or they about to announce an orchestra or something like that, bro. I would be so salty. But I'm on the copium. I'm hoping. I should say I'm on the hopium. I pray that this is. We need it. It's something that we need. It's something like the anime community needs, even though I'm barely even a part of it. I think the way that part 5 or whatever you want to call it, like Jolene's, I think it left a lot of a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, the way it was structured, in which we got half of it, all the episodes, and then another half like a half a year later or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. It probably didn't do what part 4 and part 3 did with the JoJo fandom. Especially like, no, not part 4. I'm sorry. What I just gotta say, what Golden Wind and what
Stardust Crusaders.
Stardust Crusaders and Diamond is Unbreakable did, in which people watched those weekly and was able to build up, especially like Golden Wind. Golden Wind is the reason the JoJo fandom is as big as it is now. We all know people love JoJo from back in the day, but Golden Wind, the Freaking You, and all that type of stuff created a big thing. And you kind of didn't get that with Jolene's part, and I hope they'll be able to do it with Steel Ball Run. Steel Ball Run got some good characters. I am also like Cam. I've read a lot. I haven't read a little bit of it, and I've seen a lot of stuff in passing. But I wanted to wait till it get animated. It's the same thing with like the one after Steel Ball Run. Same thing with that one. That one I'm extremely looking forward to. I can't wait to show my grandkids it. But like I love the villain in that one. And the same thing with Steel Ball Run. I think it got a lot of good characters. So that's why I have a lot of hope that that's what it is. that even you know the funny thing, even if they say, yeah, the JoJo Part 6 Steel Ball Run, whatever, is in production, we ain't seeing it until about 2026, 2027.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just gonna be clamoring and waiting then. So, you know. But I'm happy. I'm happy we're getting some news. Like,
Sure.
it's something.
Yeah.
Might be a mobile game, but it's something.
I'm hoping that they if they announce that it's, you know, Steel Ball Run, we get in tandem, we get the manga, because I think Stone Ocean is almost done with their English production at this point. I don't know if it's done yet. It probably is, but I'm hoping that they also announce the manga portion as well. And even just drop that, like, hey, we go do part 8 too, because that's been done. So I'm hoping that we get some more stuff on the manga news as well. But the big thing is hopiumly, we get confirmation of the anime. But moving on to some light gaming news. So one of them is for all my NieR peeps out there. I'm a huge NieR stan. I absolutely love this series. So the 15th anniversary live stream, let me get the correct date for you all, is going to be happening April 19th at 2 a.m. Pacific time. Now, this is another copium thing where a lot of people are suspecting that we are going to be getting another NieR title, and this will be the 4th. So a lot of people might be confused when I say this. So NieR as a series started off on the PS3. We got Gestalt, which was a Western release, and Replicant, which was Japan only. It then later got re-released on the PS4 for Replicant, so we were able to get that. The only difference being between the main character in Gestalt is a father, and the main character in Replicant is a brother. But everything else is the same. Then we got the thing that really put the Persona 5 effect of NieR, which was NieR Automata, which everybody and their mama knows who 2B is. They know who 2B is, but I guarantee you, I feel like NieR Automata is one of those games where people know who 2B is, but like they haven't actually played the whole game itself. But even though I do recommend you play it, it is a great game. Aside from Android Booty, it actually has a really good story attached to that. And so the third game was actually, unfortunately, a mobile gacha game. Yoko Taro, who is the series creator, confirmed that, and it's called NieR Reincarnation. That is the third game of the series. So if you are interested in seeing some of the lore and the story stuff, probably look up a video. I'm pretty sure there's tons of videos that explain everything that happened story-wise in that game. So if we do get an announcement for anything as far as a NieR title, it'll be the 4th official game of the series, which I'm hoping they drop. I'm hoping it's not another mobile game. And the reason why me and Trell say that is because we got robbed with Full Metal Alchemist. Like, if you were not there, Full Metal Alchemist, I think it was for their 20th anniversary or something like that, and their biggest announcement was a mobile game that didn't even last a year. So it's a lot of trauma that comes with these anniversary live streams or like things that like we are hoping for something and they give us a shitty ass mobile game, which is what we don't want. So I'm hoping that we get I think at this point we need it. It's been so NieR Automata dropped back in like 2017, I think. Like, so it's been a while since we've gotten anything, and 2B has been through collaboration hell. If you are big in the gacha game space like myself, she's been in damn near every major gacha game you can think of. She's been around the block. So let's give her a break, and let's get somebody else in the NieR spotlight. Please and thank you, Yoko Taro. But Yoko Taro is a troll, so there's literally no knowing what that man has up his thinking up here and what he'll give us. But again, April 19th, tune in if you are a fan of NieR. You have anything to add to that, Datro?
No.
There you go. So on to the other one, and this is big cope. This is super cope. This is like we know a pattern, but like it's only happened once, so we can't even establish it as a pattern. But Persona 4, there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening in the as far as things getting leaked. But basically, a domain name got bought. It's called p4re.jp, which was registered on March 20th. And so basically what happened with Persona 3 is that the same thing happened, and then like 2 months later they announced the remake of Persona 3. So there's a lot of speculation that since it's the same thing, we could potentially be getting an announcement for Persona 4 remake, which I think they should call it Persona 3 Re-Air. And if you do call it that, hey, Atlas, I want my flowers. But I'm all for it. Now, it's half and half, because Persona 4 is my favorite Persona game, but it's also one of my favorite games of all time, period. Like, if I were to put a top 10 list of all my games, Persona 4 is going to be in the top 3 easily, and it's not number 3. But I'm also, at this point, I do want to see some Persona 6 stuff. Like, I need to see something on Persona 6, because it's been a while. And I'm all for remakes, especially if it's done. Persona 3 Reload was fucking fantastic. So if we can get that same treatment for Persona 4, I'm all for it. But I also kind of want to, let's move on with some Persona 6 things. But if we do get an announcement, then it'll probably drop next year. If they announce it sometime during like the Summer's Games Fest or something like that, then I would expect the 2026 release date. But your thoughts, Datro?
Bro, I agree with you. We kind of need some Persona 6 stuff, bro. But I think that's why they dropped Metaphor. So people can, they have fun with that new IP for as long as they have fun with that new IP. They drop another remake, and then towards the new console generation, they drop 6, and they have all like the best games that come out for that new console. That's all like in a perfect world, probably. If 4 is gonna remake, somebody at Atlas said we got some gold here after that Persona 3 remake. Somebody said we got some gold.
Yeah.
2, I think it is money in that. I think it is money in making another Persona 4 remake. I know you've been a bigger Persona fan than me years. You know, and I know that they milk 4 a lot, just like they milk 5.
The shit out of 4.
So
5 is a bigger cash cow. That series alone got milked way harder. But if you've been in the block, 4 was.
I know they like, yo, we can get some more money for this. But I'm hoping for it. To be honest with you, me just thinking about it gets me like really, really happy. One thing that makes me happy is that the music will come back and beautiful quality sound and stuff like that, and the voice acting will probably be redid, but it'd be better. I won't have to get that Risei fan trophy that I'm still working on to this day for Persona 4 Golden. I won't have to do that. If you know, you absolutely know. But only thing that I'm not looking forward to is them changing that Golden opening, bro.
Oh yeah,
I'm not looking forward to that. That's a fire opening, bro. It's amazing. But like Cam said, it took me a while. It's not a lot of things that in terms of like my top 10s and things of that nature, or like my favorite genres that can change my mind on. But there's 2. And it kind of goes back-to-back conversation. There's 2. I used to think that JoJo's Stardust Crusaders was the best part. And then years later, I watched Diamonds and Unbreakable like 5 times in a row. And I realized I think Diamonds and Unbreakable is the best art. I was like, because Persona 5 popped my cherry. I'm like, Persona 5 is the greatest. It's the latest. It's everything that Persona is. Especially Royale. Royale made Persona 5 better. Then I played 4 like 3 times, and I'm like, I think 4 kind of cold. I think it's the best one, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's a thing. And like I said about JoJo's, y'all could be getting hyped for a mobile game, big dog. Y'all could be getting hyped for them adding Persona 4 characters into Persona X. So that's literally what it can be, bro. That's literally what it can be. So,
low key, yeah, it's a lot of copium.
Yeah,
I would also like to add too, because you mentioned Golden. You're not getting Golden in that remake. So in the way, because you have to understand, when Persona 3 Reload dropped, they were like, we're sticking with the base port. That now they already had it in the chamber for the episode Aegis DLC, which was a part of Persona 3 FES, which was I think it's like a slight remaster version of the original Persona 3. But there's money in that, right? Because a lot of people like Aegis, and that's just a hype thing. But a lot of people were disappointed because Persona 3, prior to Reload, Persona 3 Portable was the best port to play to experience Persona 3. And in that game, there was a female main character story mode. The overarching story was the same, right? But there were slight differences in some of your social link partners, and obviously you're controlling an entirely different character, and they didn't deliver on that. Now, knowing Atlas is owned by Sega, and Sega being Sega, I wouldn't be surprised if like a year later we get a Persona 3 Reload rechambered where we get a freaking a Persona 3 female main character expansion. But I just want to let y'all expectations. Persona 4, if we do get a remake, it's not going to be Golden. So as far as like the Marie character and stuff like that, maybe we will, because Persona 4 Golden is the definitive port that people reference whenever we talk about Persona 4. But I'm just want to preference by saying you may not get that experience if the hopium turns out to be true for that. But enough about that. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna let Trell take the reins. So this is something that came out, I think, like 2-3 weeks ago, Trell. But hey,
go ahead and not name the episode. We late.
Right. This is the makeup test session podcast.
Bro, oh God, we gotta get some extra credit, bro.
But again, this is stuff that like we care about. So we obviously want to give you guys our thoughts about this. And Trell being the resident Death Stranding stan on the podcast, this is news that excites him. So it excites us, and we want to talk about it. So go ahead, Trell, give your thoughts on the panel that happened with Hideo Kojima and some of the other actors that are in the game.
Yeah, so with the panel, basically it was announcing the game and things that's going to happen with the game, along with like the trailer and stuff like that. I wish I wasn't so broke when I was a shorty and I couldn't get the Metal Gear fandom like everybody else did, because that turned Kojima into like a superstar because of that fandom and stuff like that. So I didn't know. Kojima got shooters, bro, like real shooters. Don't talk bad about his games. But me being able to play this new IP in Death Stranding, and I personally passed on the game when it first dropped. I'm like, I'm not playing Walking Simulator. Or Amazon Simulator. And I played it when it was like free on PlayStation. I either bought it, one of the two. I either bought it or it was free, because my other cam told me to buy it. And I absolutely love it. Not gonna hold you. That game is like a 9 out of 10 for me. It is like a really good game, especially like on PlayStation 5 with the graphics and stuff like that. It is crazy. Now we get Death Stranding 2, and I'm like, can you really have a good sequel? Because like the walking stuff can get old. And I watched that trailer and I'm like, bro, I'm telling you niggas, I'm punching niggas. When Death Stranding 2 is on the Game of the Year list this fall, and nigga, why is Death Stranding 2? It's a walking simulator.
Why is Delivery Simulator on there?
You don't want to see me, bro, because that game is so freaking good, bro. And that trailer for part 2 is looking so freaking good. don't be surprised when it's right there. I'm not gonna hold you. Flashes of the trailer will be playing during the little shorts and stuff that I make for this, but what I want to tell you is that if you never played the game, this is a perfect time to play it. If you never you want a new experience in games, you had to play your 2Ks, your Call of Duties, your Marvel Rivals, all that type of stuff. You saying, oh bro, ain't no games out there. Death Stranding is free on PlayStation Plus. I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass for free. And I'm pretty sure it was a Steam sale of that game being like a penny at one point. Buy it, play it. I will talk more about the banner, but I'm not about to give this nigga a free promotion of the digital deluxe edition and what it brings to the game. I'm Gucci on that, bro. The trailer was amazing. It looked like the game is more combat focused. It looked like it's more, you're going to do a lot of walking, you're going to bridge America, but it looked like it's more combat focused. It's going to be weirder than ever, which is a good thing for them Kojima games. And please give it a try when it drops in June. I don't know what else is coming out around that time, but I'm definitely gonna put hours into that game. Hours. So yeah, that's it for that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping that my theory, because I was on PlayStation going through the little store thing and like the little notifications news that they said, and then the title for Death Stranding 2 was it a mistake for us to be connected or something like that? So my theory, this is my big, I said this before, that Trell knows. My big brain theory, I have not played Death Stranding, but I know the whole concept is connecting America. My whole theory is that Death Stranding 2 is you're disconnecting America. So if it turns out to be true, man, all I'm gonna say is Kojima hire me, because I think like you do. Okay.
If I'm working my hard-on time, telling niggas, nah, I'm not delivering packages to you no more. Bye.
You're right. You gotta disconnect America in order for it to truly stay connected. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news space. Now on to our main discussion. Now we've been teasing this throughout the entire podcast episode, so let me get rid of that. So like I said, during my Xenoblade Chronicles X impressions, there has been a game that both me and Trell have been playing that has sunk its talons into us. It's, to me specifically, so I'm supposed to be playing Legend of Heroes, I'm supposed to be playing Yakuza, I'm supposed to be playing Xenoblade, but I just find myself going towards this game. And definitely before we even start this, I want to give a big shout out to our homie Beanos, who put us on game with this series, because he went out and bought it during, I think it was a sale, and then like a week later it got announced for PlayStation Plus for free. But aside from that, the name of the game in question is Dragon Age: The Veilguard. So I'm already knowing all of my quote unquote true gamers TM, you're probably logging off of this podcast, and good riddance, see you later. But we want to talk about grifters and why this is such a detriment to the gaming community. I'm going to start by prefacing this before I hand off the reins to Trell and we go back and forth with our things about this topic. When this game first got announced, I was on the hate bandwagon. So I'm going to admit that fully out. I was hating this game because everybody else was hating on this game. So I was a part of the problem. So when we talk about this grifting stuff, I acknowledge that I was a part of the problem when it comes to this game specifically. So I was listening to all the reviews and people going like, they say stuff about non-binary characters and there's gay stuff in this game, and this is not a true Dragon Age experience. This isn't what BioWare is known for, and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. I was a part of that hate bandwagon. So when this game eventually did get dropped on PlayStation Plus for free, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give the game a try. Our homie Beanos was saying, hey man, give it a try. You might like it. And I went into that game fully expecting to hate it. Like, I mean, I was like, I wanted to be like, I played the first hour and I'd be like, yep, this game fucking sucks. We were right. Yeah, this game sucks. I'm so glad it did bad. But I was wrong. I was wrong. We're still a small channel. We're still growing. We don't get sponsors. I have no obligations to. I don't like EA as a company. Well, EA, this game was published by a guy who said the reason why this game failed was because it was not a live service. So yeah, dummy. So before anybody says, oh, you're just trying to be contrarian, you know, everybody hates the game and you're trying to say that the time for discussing this game is over. like there is no hot take video that I could put out and we get 1 million views and 10,000 subscribers because we said that we like Dragon Age the Veilguard. The time for discussing this game is pretty much over. So nuts to that. I'm sorry. So when I say that I enjoy, and I don't like to play bad video games. I'm someone that has a full-time job. So when I come home and I want to play video games, I like to play video games from an entertainment and relaxing standpoint. I that's just me. So I'm not, if I'm playing a game and I'm not enjoying it, I'm not gonna finish the game. It's just how it is. If I bought the game, I'll just take that L. It's a tax write-off. But if I genuinely did not like Dragon Age the Veilguard, I would not have continued playing it. But I've been thoroughly enjoying this game to the point where, and Trell mentioned this, and I agree with him, this game probably would have been in our top 10 RPG list last year if we played this game. This game is definitely, and this brings us to the focal point of the discussion, why grifters can potentially ruin something that is good. Because majority of the people, like I said, I was a part of them, we didn't even play the fucking game. So it's like a lot of people just jumped on this hate wagon band train, was like, yeah, this game, then they kept using that one cutscene of one of the characters in the game, Tosh, who identifies as non-binary. They kept using that scene to go like, this is why this game sucks. I mean, look at this cutscene with no context or anything of that nature. There was no one. It's very similar to kind of like the opposite of the Wukong, where people were praising Wukong for being like anti-woke, but no one was talking about the actual gameplay or the actual game itself. It's similar to, I get the same vibes with Dragon Age the Veilguard, where it's like a lot of people were just talking about this non-binary character and stuff, but they weren't talking about the actual game itself. And I feel like that's just a detriment to how good this game is, because if you actually sit down, and I mean, the game is free, so that definitely helps. So if you have PlayStation Plus, I recommend you play it yourself. If you're someone who was just like me, who wanted to just hate this game for the sake of hating it, I think that you will be pleasantly surprised by what you experience with this game. And so I'll give Trell to speak a piece of his mind before we kind of talk a little bit more about some of the actual things. Like, no, let's, actually talking about video games. You know what I'm saying? We talking about games.
Yeah.
Give your thoughts, Trell.
I agree, man. I really hate niggas. I've been doing a good job of not cursing, right? And it's a personal thing. I ain't gonna say our podcast is not anti-curse. It's a personal thing. So I'm gonna try my best not to throw up a bunch of explicit, whatever that word is, out. Same thing with Kim. Now I didn't necessarily like want to hate it, because I hate grifting so much. I hate grifting to the point that I want to see a game that sucks do good just because grifters hate it. So I was hoping that Dragon Age do good, but I had no passion to play it because I'm like, it's probably gonna stink. I kind of wish I bought this game full price on the day that it dropped. Not only to support the devs that look like they worked extremely hard on this game, but to have that experience and be able to yell from the rooftops, This game is not bad. This game don't suck. To be a I don't know how to call it on a soapbox and yell like a crier back in the medieval days saying, hey, hear ye, these niggas lying. This game is fire. I wish I was able to get to that point. I really think it's a disservice to the people at like BioWare and things of that nature. Now, I know it's some people who liked it, Dragon Age, who absolutely loved it. I seen videos of it on people's YouTube channels. I seen TikToks of people saying it's better. I heard people say it's better than Avowed, another like fantasy game that came out recently. And this is why it hurts my heart, because you can see the love that BioWare put into the game. Like, even with like some of the character conversations, the fighting or the combat, I should say, all of that is love put into the game. It just sucks that people didn't even get a chance and they hated it. And it shows the power of like word of mouth, but also shows the power of like hate. And that's one thing I kind of, I wanted to stay away from, especially on like me when it talks about gaming. It's so much hate that goes around when it comes to like what people say or what people play, I should say. Like this character Tosh says she's non-binary. Hate it. Like there's this stupid dude on Twitter. I'm not going to say his name, and it's not because I forgot it. I literally know his name, but I don't. Even if he get a chance to see it, I don't want any type of interaction with it. But he talk about if it's a non-binary character, it's a non-binary game. Like they're not going to buy the game. And I'm like, what? I'm going to keep it a bean.
So you weren't going to buy any of some of the previous Dragon Age games because there's non-binary characters in that game. So.
Non-binary characters. People like, look, yo, real quick, man. Before we be serious, and this is serious, if you want your game to be, big titty women, manly men and stuff like that, I got some tips for you. You open up your Steam, you go to your settings, and you turn the safe search off.
Have fun.
And you can get all the games that you dreamed of right there, bro. They got it for you. It's cheap too. Like them not no $60 games. They're like 17 of pure debauchery. So go ahead, do it. But again, but leave the gaming has came to a point where everybody get to express their story. People talk about I hate self-insert characters. But nigga, every freaking piece of fiction that you ever read has some sort of self-insert in it, or they just create a person that can compare us to Jesus. Either or. But other than that, it's a bunch of self-inserts, dog, or views. Like you can look at the chick who made Harry Potter. She put her views in Harry Potter. It's just the way it is. It might be views that people like, but she put her views in Harry Potter. Self-inserts. You look at Game of Thrones. I'm going to keep it a bean with you. My man, George R.R. Martin, is considered one of the greatest authors in the game right now. Samuel Tarly, the big dude, Tarly, I don't know if it's Tarly, but the big dude, who was with Jon Snow at the wall and stuff like that. That is a self-insert. He put himself in the book. You can go on for it, and then you got like Jesus allegories like Goku, Superman, and stuff like that. People who they just, instead of making Jesus a superhero, they created a superhero that's kind of like Jesus. But people are going to have their views in it, because if you don't put what you believe in the media, then it ain't nothing.
It might as well be AI.
He made his love be AI. There's no love in it. Like Game of Thrones, I mean God of War, before the 2018 version or 20 whatever. God of War is a take on revenge and how to deal with revenge. Are you cracking shorties in God of War? Are you splitting bellies open? At the end of the day, it is a revenge story. Just like another game that people love to hate, Last of Us. It's just a different take on a revenge story. Is there shooting monsters? Is there a swole chick that you get to see have a sex scene in the middle of the goddamn game? Yes, but it's still the same thing, but told differently. And I'm gonna let you go because my dog's about to start tweaking right now. I'm gonna have to mute myself. But if you don't like a game because of your views, then I don't think gaming is for you. Now, there's a difference between you don't want to be like force-fed stuff, which one, it's impossible to be force-fed in gaming, nigga, because you bought it. Nobody forced you to put that in the cart. But you don't want to be I hate being pandered to. That's one thing. I hate being pandered to. But putting a black character in a video game is not pandering to me. Nigga, I'm not saying this is too many black men. No, nigga, it's not enough. So, but if that was the case, I understand if you don't like being pandered to or like being force-fed stuff, even though you can't be force-fed. But for you not even to give it a chance and to open your eyes to say, I don't think non-binary people exist, but I'm still going to see if the game is good, it shows your lack of understanding.
Humanity, empathy, like...
You're stupid. And what a lot of you niggas is followers. Like, you did this to follow a nigga. He told you shouldn't like this, you don't. I'm gonna let Cam talk, then I'm gonna say one other thing after that. But go ahead, because I gotta yell at this dog real quick.
Yeah, and just to piggyback, what that Trell said, that definitely speaks to me as far as like, when we talk about like people being force-fed stuff, and like I play these games, and I'm just like, a lot of this stuff that y'all be complaining about is optional stuff you have to seek out yourself. A big example of that, back when the PS5 first got released and Miles Morales game came out, was the big thing that people were complaining about. I can't believe they put a Black Lives Matter mural in the game. And people were just like, oh, this game sucks. Oh my gosh. All this, it's like, it come to find out, it's a completely optional thing. You have to go do every single side quest in the game. And then you have to accept the side quest, go to the place, and see the mural yourself. To speak more on Dragon Age: The Veilguard, the Tosh thing. All Tosh's their transition into accepting themselves as non-binary, which is well done in my opinion. I think it was really good. However, if you're someone who's like, I don't want to see that in my game, it's completely optional. It's tied to their companion quest, which you don't have to do. So you can go through the whole game and never once have any indication or any instance of Tosh saying, oh, I'm non-binary. It's something that you have to seek out. And this is a thing that it's almost like you guys, you're not like you're not anti-woke. It's like you're anti-accessibility, as if you are the only person that exists on this planet. I am a black man, right? So when I create characters, so Dragon Age: The Veilguard, I made a black queen. And she's also a lesbian. That's just how I play my games. But guess what? There are people that are going to be playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and whenever you create your own character, even if you try to troll and make the ugliest character you can think of, you are always inserting something about yourself into that character. Always. Even if you want to make the most ugliest, I'm making Shrek, I'm making this, but You are always inserting some aspect of your own personal identity into that character. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are doing that. And so there is absolutely people like the big thing with the start when it Starfield got released, and you guys know the infamous pronouns guy who was mad that there was a they them option for identification, when that is something that you will probably see for like 5 seconds on a character customization screen that doesn't apply to you. Guess what? There are people that are non-binary that are going to pick up Dragon Age, that are going to pick up these other games, and it's cool for them to have an option to be able to identify as what they identify in real life. Guess what? There are trans people that play these games, and it'd be really cool if they had an option to insert a part of their identity into a video game. It does absolutely nothing for you if it does not apply to you. It's not like if somebody creates a non-binary character in Dragon Age, the game starts up and goes like, oh, sorry, there's been 3 people that have created they them characters, so every single enemy in this game is going to one-shot you, and you can't get the legendary armor anymore. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what I hated about the Elden Ring community, where people were mad about people having like magic builds. And it's like, nigga, it's a single player game. What aspect about someone else playing their single player experience is going to ruin your single player experience? And that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, like, y'all niggas are just bored. Y'all have no lives, no personality, no nothing. So you have to find something to attach yourself into, to just to complain or to be a part of something. It's kind of reminds me, no, I'm not getting political. I'm not even gonna say that. But like, it's like you guys are looking for a space to belong. And this is the only space that you can see, because it's like, this is, if you look at Dragon Age just from the standpoint of being a video game, it is good. The combat is solid. The even if, yes, you can say, well, previous Dragon Ages had more classes and blah 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 blah. This one only has 3: the warrior, the rogue, and the mage. I had fun. I picked the warrior, and there's so many cool abilities, so many like builds that you can do within. Like, not only, that's not even speaking on the specializations that you unlock at level 20, but so many as far as like your equipment loadout, your companions. Like, I liked all the companions. Tosh, who there is a big contention to a lot of the things that the grifters were talking about with this Dragon Age game. They're great. Their entire story, like, Tosh does not start off going into your face going like, I'm non-binary. No, it's through you finding out like it speaks to like her powers, her heritage, their powers, their heritage. It speaks to them coming into like them being this unique Quinari, them being from their original homeland and coming into Ravani, and then them just not feeling like a woman. Like I said, I don't feel like a woman, and I don't really feel like a man either. And them coming into terms with that, it's a great moment. There's a character, Emmerich, who is probably my favorite companion in the game, has a great arc where he's dealing with the mortality of death. He's a necromancer, but he's afraid of death. So his companion quest is just him dealing with the fact that, like, eventually, well, I'm not going to spoil too much about it because I do think that you should play this game and experience some of this stuff for yourself. But like, there's moments where he's contemplating like doing something that could potentially alleviate that fear, or him accepting the fact that it's okay to be mortal. There's so many good, like Balara, Harding, Darvin, Lucanus, Neff, great companions. The story, even if you want to say it's just a basic, like, you know, fight the evil bad, save the world, cool. But there are certain moments throughout that story that have very impactful moments, decisions that you make that have lasting effects, through your companions and all that other stuff. I think that for me personally, and like I know when I like a game when during the weekend, because you know I stay up during the weekends. When I notice it's like almost 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm still playing the game, I know that I don't do that for games that I hate. I don't do that. And there's just so many great aspects of Dragon Age the Veilguard that I feel like because of the vocal minority or maybe even vocal majority of grifters just like shouting like, don't play this game because there's a non-binary character in this game, or don't play this game because it's blah 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 blah. And it's like there are people that have valid complaints about the game, and I have some complaints about the game as well. The game is not perfect. There are some flaws. I was not the biggest fan of the character creation. I just wasn't. But that didn't detract from my overall experience with the entire game itself. And so I think that this is one of those instances where like it's unfortunate. Like Trell mentioned this, we were having a conversation about this yesterday, where like the grifters unfortunately won when it came to this game, just because of, you know, we're not getting any DLC with this game. And also, you know, we don't know about the future of BioWare after they drop Mass Effect 5. So it's one of those unfortunate things, and we probably may never see another Dragon Age game again as a result of this, which sucks, because I truly think that like if you really take the time to play this game yourself, like it's free on PlayStation. I don't know about anything else, but it's free on PlayStation. So if you have PlayStation Plus, there's no excuse. I think that like if you take the time to sit down, turn the noise off from all the people that are racist, transphobic, homophobic, and just have that, and they themselves don't even play video games. Half the people that were complaining about didn't even play the game themselves. So if you actually take the time to play this game for yourself and formulate your own opinions, you will find that this is a game that is not only worth playing, but worth talking about how great of an experience you can have with this. And I'll let you close things out, Trell.
Yeah, I want to close things out real quick by getting a smidget personal, right? Just a tad bit personal. I am right now, I'm unemployed right now, but I do have, other than this podcast stuff, I do have another job. I am a co-youth leader of a church called Victory in Christ Kingdom, where I go on every Wednesday and talk to youth, because I am a saved, sold out Christian. That's what I am, and nobody can take that away from me. If somebody like me who will go out their way and say, play this game, it's because it doesn't affect me that somebody chooses to be non-binary. It doesn't affect me that somebody chooses to be gay. It doesn't affect me that somebody chooses not to be gay, not to be non-binary, not to do Tasha's storyline. It don't affect me as a person or my enjoyment of a video game. To be honest, again, I don't really do the gay dialogue stuff. Like if I make a male character and it's another male character, I don't do the gay dialogue stuff. If I make a female character, I'll talk to a male character, but I don't do like the man thing. Honest with you, I'm uncomfortable with it. That's just me being personal. I'm uncomfortable with it. But I would never tell somebody, hey, don't do that, bro. You gay because you're doing that. Because you know what makes a man gay? If he likes another man. Don't let grifters shape you how to play a game, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to go on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter one day and say, ain't no games to play. And then we're going to say, play Persona, play Dragon Age, play the Hideo Kojima game, Death Stranding. Play this, play that. No, those games won't. Well, what do you play? Oh, Call of Duty 2K, Balatro. Well, bro, I hate to tell you, but you just gonna have to retire video games, my guy, because there's nothing for you. If you watch TV every day, you say it's too much woke nonsense, there's nothing for you, bro. Stop listening to alpha male podcasts. Stop listening to YouTubers who don't even play the game. Like, I'm not talking about play it for a review and to eventually critique it, but play it. Get immersed in it. If you don't like, we do this thing in which we review games late, not just because we don't get review copies because we're not big enough yet. It's because we immerse ourselves in the game.
We play the game.
Me and Cam did the Monster Hunter stuff. I purposely in my brain was like, I'm not gonna ask Cam when he want to record until like a week and a half after we get done playing it, because I want us to get immersed so much into the game. So when we say a review, I'm not gonna be like, well, I didn't get to this point, or well, I didn't get to that point. And then somebody go into the comment section and say, well, you didn't get to this point, and you didn't get to that point. I want to immerse myself in the game I play. I want to put my Cyberpunk, my nigga. Cam had his thoughts about it. I had my thoughts about it. We was roommates before. And I remember we both stupid long session of playing Cyberpunk, sat in the hallway and just talked about how much fun we having with the game. Crazy long session because we immersed ourselves in the game. Not because Cyberpunk, I ain't gonna hold you, out of all the games that's out, like big screen games, is the most quote unquote woke, liberal, such and such buzzword game out.
But y'all like it.
But I don't even want to talk about Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate probably worse than that when it comes to that. So again and again, I almost cursed, and I've been trying my best not to curse, but experience stuff for yourself. Like I said, if a youth leader at a church that will probably be like, why are you playing that stuff? If they see me play this game, will tell you to give the game a try, give the game a try. Like, please.
Facts. So that being our main discussion, we'll end things off. I don't know if you have a clown intro. I only have one.
No, that's my clown. Dumb niggas.
Grifters. Yeah. So I didn't even get a chance to get the clown music, but whatever. Yeah, whatever. So my clown goes to, now this is more so just for like the specific companies. So like I'm gonna like name like Amazon, also, you know, ironic because we'll be putting this up on this, but YouTube/Google. So obviously if you're a grown adult, it's tax season time. So, and this being a business that we own and operate, I'm going through all of my business expenses that I've occurred for Tweeking Media over the years. And so obviously a big part of that, now you don't necessarily have to do this. I'm gonna give you a little financial tips, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a financial advisor, so don't ever take my thing as the word God, because I ain't go to school for it. But this is just a little bit of advice from me to you. Take it how you'll take it. Now, you don't have to do this, but I've made a habit of doing this just because the IRS is the IRS. Now, if you make, say for instance, you make $40,000, right? And you've only spent about $10,000 on that on your small business, if you happen to own a small business, a LLC, right? Then when you tally up your business expenses for the years, you don't necessarily have to have an invoice or receipt of everything that you've spent for the business, because you've made more than you've spent. The IRS will look at that and go like, makes sense. Now, obviously, if you make $40,000 and you spent $60,000 on your small business, the IRS is gonna come knocking, because that don't make no sense. But I always make a habit of making sure that I save all my receipts, because although the IRS can flag you for, obviously, if you like the example I just gave, but they can also just audit you just because. So they can't just go like, hey, you said that in 2023 you made this much money and you spent this much on your small business. We need some receipts, prove it. You never know. So I always make it a habit of making sure I log all of my invoices and receipts of everything I spend for Tweeking Media. Amazon and YouTube, I'm still going through it because I'm getting everything together in the process of getting all my taxes and stuff filed. But Amazon and Google, for some reason, make it way harder than it needs to be to find your invoices for like your subscriptions. So obviously, I have a Prime membership. Prime membership is written off as a business expense for Tweeking Media because I use it for certain stuff for the business. So I'm trying to go. I'm going to Amazon. I'm like, all right, let me, look. Like it is. I'm telling you this right now. You may think it's simple. Oh, I just go to my account. I go to manage my subscriptions. No, it's not that simple, my boy. I had to look up a YouTube video. I had to go to a forum because it is like Amazon's UI. If you use it on mobile, it's okay, I guess. But if you ever use Amazon on like your personal computer stuff, it is absolute trash. It is terrible. Like, holy shit, is bad. But what I had to do, and this is just advice for anybody who is also in the process of getting your invoices and stuff ready for tax seasons. You're going to Amazon, you want to find out all of your Amazon Prime memberships and the exact dates and stuff like that. You have to go to your orders and then you have to search for your Prime memberships. So it's not the logical thing where it would be like, hey, manage my subscriptions, show me an invoice. Adobe is very simple. I go to Adobe, I go to my account, I go to subscriptions, and they give me an invoice of all of everything I've spent in 2024 in Adobe. YouTube, you would think you would go on YouTube, you go to manage your subscriptions, and you'd be able to go, hey, look, I got YouTube Premium. Can I get an invoice for the 2024 year? No, you have to go to, I think it's like pay.google.com, which is a separate account. Log into that account. Then you have to go. Then there's another link you put because you would think that you would just go to your transactions and it would show your YouTube Premium subscriptions. No, you have to then go to another link that shows you your actual subscriptions because that transaction page will only show you if you spent money on like, I don't know, like some like a merchandise or something like that. It's not your actual monthly or yearly or have whatever many subscription services you have for that account. So it's jumping through hoops and all this other stuff just to get basic ass information for your tax season. So y'all are my clowns, man. Hire people that actually understand technology and understand the premise of simple UI is better. That's it. I should be able to go to my account, go to my subscriptions, and access my invoices there. It should take me 2 YouTube videos and scrolling through a form for 10 minutes to find out how the hell I access information that I should be privy to. So that's my clown. And with all of that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I had fun with this particular podcast recording. I'm sure my homie Trell has as well. And like I said before, there may be instances where we don't have Chris on here, but that's okay. We play games, so we got y'all covered.
We're gonna try to be as consistent as possible.
Yes. We want to make sure we maintain at least a bi-weekly release schedule. Depending on if there's a huge crazy news, then we will record the week of, but we will definitely be trying to be more consistent. But just some housekeeping before we end things off here. Again, if you're on the YouTube side, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and share this video across all your social media spaces to promote us to as wide an audience as possible. Click on that bell icon to stay notified of all of our content on the channel. We have Attack on Culture, which we're doing right now, which is our NieR podcast. We have a sports podcast, Threes from the Ring. We have gotcha content called Gotcha on the Gotcha, video game review content, views from the couch, and more as we go on throughout the year. We just released, as Trell mentioned earlier, we had released our Monster Hunter Wilds review. So if you're interested to hear our more in-depth thoughts on that, be sure to check that out. On the gotcha side, I released some videos for Honkai Star Rail, the new character that just came out, Mighty, and also some stuff on Triple Z as well. So if you're interested in any of those games, check that content on the channel. And we are being a lot more consistent with our videos. We're being a lot more consistent with our content, our shorts on the YouTube short side, on the TikTok side. So come and join us and help us get to 1K subs. That's our goal for this year, getting to 1K subs. And just want to thank you in advance for all of your support. We appreciate y'all. And with all that being said, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless. Peace.
Avita, Sam.